Black Bean Simpson here. So, it is about 9:30, August 29th. So, I guess in California, the governor there just signed the bill, or I think it was the governor. He just signed the reforming the bail system in California. Pretty much what he did was remove the whole bailing system. So, and his reason, paraphrasing here, like most of the time I'm doing this, I'm driving. We are making the poor and rich equal or fair. Like I said, paraphrasing here. This guy is psychotic. This guy is insane. To think that the amount of wealthy people out there are committing the same amount of crime as the amount of poor people are out there. Fair? This guy, he either is insane or he knows exactly what he's doing to maintain power, which makes him extremely evil. I mean, you see, you can be insane, mentally, insane. And I'm going to claim, well, you're not really evil, you're just mentally insane. There's just something wrong with you, like mentally, a wire wrong in there or something, But if you know exactly what you're doing, and you know the ending results aren't that you're evil. And I believe this guy's actually evil. I don't think he's really, I think he's evil as hell. How do you not know that removing a bail system that keeps in violent criminals or, people who can turn into violent criminals? So, for instance, a robber gets caught, gets arrested, gets brought in, goes through all the final or the beginnings of being put in jail, except he doesn't go to jail. He gets put right back out into civilization, where now he can harass, potentially attack, even potentially hush up people who are potentially witness to the crime that person committed. So this is the problem. By removing this bail system, is essentially removing any possible chance for more of the black community coming out and speaking up. I mean, we already have a problem in the black community where they just don't like talking to cops. Well, you think this is going to help that cause? This governor is evil. He is it's like the hell gates opened up and just released this guy to just commit the most heinous shit on planet before he just gets sucked back down into hell. I don't remember what this guy's name is. I wish I did off the top of my head, but I believe it was the governor who signed the bill. A guy named Jesse Lee Peterson, actually, a pretty well known black figurehead for speaking up for the black community and against essentially the falsehoods and misinformation and the lies, and bringing honesty, truth to the blacks. But sadly, he is hated by many blacks for that, especially people of black power. They don't like him. Well, he went and in front of the city council there and pretty much called them out. That they hate black people. When they do, you must hate black people. You must really hate innocents out there. And you must really love, obsessed for that power to know that by doing something that helps keep people safe is by removing it. For what? Just so 1,000 actual violent criminals or potential criminals can be treated fairly as many as those 100 wealthy people that got caught up in a crime or did a crime, and who could paid for a lawyer and a bail. That's the problem here. Is they're saying, well, blacks can't pay for bail. Well, get them jobs. How about stop letting immigrants in? How about stop allowing illegals take jobs? And then finally, we can have people from the black communities get jobs. And then they can pay for their bail if they go and commit a crime. See, this is what's fascinating by the difference in race on actually doing stuff. This is why justice systems work actually in some countries and why they don't work in other countries. Is because there's a certain level of respect in one's culture and to one another around us to keep something in harmony. Where some cultures don't have that form of harmony. They have some other form of harmony that, I don't know, I don't play that rhythm. I play this rhythm, so I really don't know. Like, I just don't understand that. Like, it's astonishing that we keep on thinking that we could just pour people into this vase and they'll automatically take shape of them. Well, we know there's a difference on how cultures react to situations. We know that cultures clash. We understand that there's this thing called genes that's causing a lot of these issues, and we're not talking about it. Like the crime issue rates and stuff that comes out of like the black communities due to the aggressive gene. And the aggressive gene is on possibly due to a lot of the aggression that's been happening to them since the last 60 years. Yes, probably some of it comes from the slavery. I'm not going to dismiss that. But when you can see statistically and through actually people who spoke up about the black community back then, the blacks did better back then. Under Jim Crow law, somehow they were able to do better than the blacks now with all the freedoms that they have. That to me doesn't make sense. How does people have more freedom make them worse off? That to me just doesn't add up. There's something going on there. See, it's not about the freedom part, it's about the handout part. It's the handout part with the freedom part. See, you can have all the freedom of the world, but once you start giving things away for free, there's no understanding of the hardship. There's no understanding of the gratifying, or, knowing how to gratify yourself, but not beyond to using up all your resource. Understanding what it is to actually lose something that you worked for. For many, in all race, in America, at least, and I would say a lot of Western European countries besides maybe like Russia and Poland and very, very few other places, they lost like the aspect of, well, just honesty. Honesty and not giving excuse. I mean, that's something like with ethics and that, and then also removing God. Essentially, atheists have removed God and replaced it with science, or they replaced it with government. It's either or it's a mixture of two. And the people back then that started America were really trying to separate government and religion. And astonishingly, people made science into a religion. Or at least they act like science is 100% accurate, all times, forever, and it could never be dismissed or proven to be wrong, or maybe even made up. Maybe even the person flawed results. Maybe this person pruned the results in a way so it sounds better than something. These are the things with science, is why it should always be tested. Always. There should be not one thing out there that's claimed by science to be true that shouldn't be able to be tested. And if it is tested and does not get the same results, well, we know there's something going on there. Which is why there's a lot of talk lately about the science world, about how the majority of the medical field isn't perfectly accurate. It's like it only needs to take like 2% of the research and development to pull off what type of results it's looking for. As long as it gets that 2% result, it's good enough for the world. And it's no wonder why one drug has 50 different symptoms and what it might cause, or it has conflict with other drugs. I'm not saying that should be illegal, but one thing's for sure: it shouldn't be controlled and regulated by the government. And as you can see, the government has not benefited us within the pharmaceutical industry. If anything, they have promoted and propagated and like strengthened the pharmaceutical industry. It's like they took these voodoo doctors and made them into far more than what they should have ever been. I think there was a law, a snake salesman oil law, and somehow they got around it. Well, they got around it because some of those snake oil sales oilmen, whatever, they were quite wealthy for what they did. And over time, understanding that knowledge and applying it in other fields, learning the wordings, understanding that, as long as it works 2% of the time, you're not a snake sales oilman or whatever, snake oil salesman. So that's the things. Like, and what's astonishing too is that I believe pharmaceutical industries, when they get inspected, again, their facilities are only inspected like 10% of the place. It's like by law they can stop the regular inspector from inspecting a certain amount of the place. I don't know if like over time they get to inspect the entire place, but who's to say they just don't move things around or they don't switch things up so the inspector doesn't see what's going on. So that's the thing. Like, there's just so many issues with the pharmaceutical industry. It's insane. It's insane. So my whole point of bringing the pharmaceutical industry within this talk of the bail, most of these people that are being arrested, being incarcerated, being put in prison, you could trace back that they have some type of pill problem. They have they're on some type of medication that's been handed out. A lot, and I should say all of them, a lot of them, a great majority of them. And a great majority of these people that have mental problems, they're not being locked up or in an insane asylum. It's jail that's keeping us safe from some of those people. And it's also keeping them safe. Fed and warm, too, as well. Sadly, that's the way of our system right now. And with this removal of this bail system, not only are we not going to see or that, we're going to see an increase in robbery, but we're going to see an increase in mental health issues out there on the street. I can guarantee you that. And not one of these politicians that accepted, that have signed, that have participated, that were wanting to push this through, that were okay with this bill, not one of them truly care for black people. Not one of them truly care for the citizens that vote for them. Not one of them truly care for the mentally incapable. Not one of them care about the victims that we will be seeing in the near future. If you like this podcast, please like and subscribe. If you didn't like this podcast, please still like and subscribe. Comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Thank you. Have a great day.